Indiana was sensational in their season opening win over Alabama A&M 98-51. We have a recap up of that game on the channel. I wasn't part of it. It was my off day. I was writing a bunch of things. So this is my first opportunity to talk about what I think of this Indiana team. And we are going to learn a lot more about this Indiana program when they take on Shaka Smart's Marquette Golden Eagles on Sunday. This game is a neutral site game at the United Center, which feels legitimately neutral because Illinois is in between Wisconsin and Indiana
Isn't Marquette's like hella close though, isn't it?
to the United Center.
I feel like it's like it's probably somewhat equal. No, probably
Milwaukee
not
to
good to lead this off
Chicago
with a geography
versus
talk.
Milwaukee to Chicago versus Bloomington to Chicago.
I want to say that Milwaukee's closer, but I could be wrong.
I think Indiana probably has a bigger Chicago-based presence, though.
Fair, fair.
At least the bar. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, should be a good game. KenPom projects this to be close. KenPom projects Indiana by 2. It's been an interesting, I don't know, year for Marquette basketball, dare I say. The last couple of years. Tyler Kolek, amazing. Cam Jones, amazing. Good players around him. Oso Ighodaro, other guys like that. Haven't necessarily translated into championships or March wins, but very good team. Top 20 team in the country pretty much every single year. This year, they're projected to take a step back, and maybe not by Marquette fans or people who cover the team. I will not be surprised if they overachieve at all. But per KenPom, Marquette is 45th in the country right now. It's just lower than you would have seen Marquette at any point in the Shaka Smart era. It makes sense when you look at the roster because there is no Cam Jones on this roster. There is no Tyler Kolek on this roster. Just point blank, the star power is seriously lacking here. They are the only high major team that I can think of that has straight up said we're not going to bring in transfers. This team this year is built around a four-man freshman class full of top 110 players, four stars, but none overly impact guys immediately. They did not go out and seek any starter level players from the portal. In fact, they didn't bring in one transfer at all. This team is a bunch of veteran returnees, but veteran returnee role players. Sean Jones, Chase Ross, Zay Lowry, Royce Parham, our guy Ben Gold are all going to be asked to be really, really good for this Marquette team. Look, it's an experiment, and I want to be real and fair and upfront about this. When coaches do this, you and I kill them for it. And
Mhm.
I understand Shaka Smart is different. He has already put a track record out there where he can win without these guys. But also Tyler Kolek transferred to Marquette. And this team could use a Tyler Kolek bat in my mind. Marquette is 2-0. It's been a good early start. Chase Ross had 23 points in their win over Southern, and he was also the leading scorer against Albany. So maybe Chase Ross is just the guy here. But what do you make of this Marquette team, Cart?
Yeah, it's just it's interesting that like Marquette has like quietly been this team that has like put together like these all-American level and got players drafted like Oso on the team drafted Cam Jones, Tyler Kolek, and they kind of didn't like I feel like you would see coaches use that as a springboard to bring people in. Especially like if I'm Shaka Smart, like dog, I took Tyler Kolek from George Mason and I made this dude an All-American. Like they could make that same pitch to people. Now, by the looks of it, early on in the first two games for Marquette, it seems like Shaka's just kind of saying, all right, Chase Ross is going to be that guy. I get that, but also at the core of it, Chase Ross is in a big, long picture. I don't expect him to be able to be the level of a Cam Jones or a Tyler Kolek. I think he can do a lot of the same things, but I just don't know if it's going to be as a high of a level as the other guys were. And Royce Parham's a guy that's interesting. He was actually a part of the USA like training camp U19 team. Almost made that team, by the way. Does some somewhat impressive things, but it is a roster that when you look at it, it looks like a roster that could have added some people here or there. But a lot of the same Marquette principles, I think, still apply to this. Chase Ross seems to be the guy that's going to fill up the stat sheet, do it all, and they also defend at a very high level.
Yeah, there's a world that Marquette ends up a really tough out and wins the Big East because of how tough they play, the defense, and what Shaka is. He's a really high floor coach that usually gets the most out of his teams. But there's also just not the sex appeal, the flash that there has been in recent years, where you can see a guy that could carry them to wins over the best teams in the country. Like I don't know how this team is going to go beat UConn. I don't know how this team is going to beat St. John's. I know how they're going to beat Providence and Villanova. I don't know how they're going to beat top 20 teams in the country. The question to me is, what is Indiana? Does Indiana fall into the category of teams where Marquette's good enough and the high floor defense is going to work? Or is Indiana actually more talented than we realize? This is kind of going to be a good early data point on that, no?
Yeah, my quick answer to that is I think Indiana's more talented than Marquette.
Okay. You want to do our game?
In order we're taking players,
Go down the list. Best players in this game starts where?
Tucker DeVries,
I agree. Then it goes where?
Lamar Wilkerson,
I think I agree. Then I think, has to go Chase Ross.
and probably Chase Ross.
And then you're really just fighting between which role players you like. Like Connerway's not all that different than Marquette's guys.
No, but uh, I mean Reed Bailey or Royce Parham.
Can I confess something to you?
Yeah,
I'm not sure the Royce Parham stuff is working.
I think they're realizing that in real time.
He's coming off the bench right now.
Yeah,
He hasn't played 20 minutes in either of these games.
Reed Bailey or Ben Gold.
Yeah, let's talk about the front court spot. So the interesting thing to me when I look at Marquette, as much as I'm kind of iffy on the guards and wings still, I know Chase Ross is like, he can do it. Zayd Lowry, I really like what we've seen. Other guys are pretty interchangeable to me. Then you got the starting center, Benjamin Gold.
Benjamin Gold.
Yeah, he's a consistent recipient of my ire, you could say, in the last couple of years. I just think he's really limited. And that's about the nicest way I can speak on his game. Now he's had good performances. Don't get me wrong. He had a Ken Pom MVP, 17-7 in a win over Providence last year. But as often as he had good games, he had games like this against good opponents. Cart 0 points and zero shot attempts in 22 minutes against St. John's in their loss in the conference tournament last year. 0 points and 2 rebounds in 17 minutes against Creighton last year. 0 points and 0 rebounds in 21 minutes against UConn last year. He's been a mannequin against quality opponents. And then he's been like pretty damn good against bad teams. It just kind of is who he is to me. This matchup becomes so fascinating to me because I think you can point at the Indiana front court and say the same things. Like even if we like Indiana's wings and guards better than Marquette's, their one big question mark on the roster is, do they have anyone good at the five? Now, in the first game, guys looked good, right? They beat Alabama A&M 98-51. Reed Bailey had 21 and 5. Sam Alexis was a Ken Pom MVP off the bench, 17 and 8 with 2 blocks. So the early returns, I think, are that the Indiana front court looks better than we anticipated. But we also watched this team in exhibition games and even overseas. Reed Bailey has already had some duds. Sam Alexis is a role player type, not a star center type. So I guess, can Indiana's duo at the five exploit what I think is exploitable with Ben Gold? Or is this a Providence level, like Ben Gold can give them 17-7 game?
No, I think it is a game that could be taken advantage because look, I'm actually starting to become somewhat like a Sam Alexis believer. I know it's become against lower level competition, but I think he's very physical. I think he's shown he can finish. And with all due respect, in 4 years we've seen of Ben Gold, when it comes to guys that are physical with him, he becomes light in the ass. And I think that that is something that Sam Alexis will be able to take advantage of. And Reed Bailey, I think, just is a better version of Ben Gold.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if Reed Bailey's better than Ben Gold. Maybe.
I think he
Probably.
is.
Probably. I think the same things that I'm saying about Ben Gold will apply to Reed Bailey. When he plays a good front court, he's unusable.
Is he playing a good front court?
That's the thing. The good news for all these guys is they're both playing bad front courts, so they can probably just like teeter totter back and forth of like mediocre play.
Teeter totter. That's crazy.
Which coach would you take? Shaka's an interesting guy with the perception of him at this point. 10 years ago, he was the hottest coach in the sport. It didn't work at Texas. Marquette is a perfect landing spot for him. I doubt he ever leaves Marquette. He's very clearly a good coach. Don't know if he's a great coach. Would you rather have Darren DeVries or Shaka Smart as your basketball coach?
This might come as a surprise to many folks, but I take Shaka.
Explain why.
I think I know what I'm getting. I think I'm getting the safe floor.
Like a tournament team every year floor.
Tournament team every year. Hopefully, by me picking him, I can also get in his ear, be like, "Hey, whoa, what's this piece of paper? Transfer portal? What? How'd
Oh
that get
shit,
there?
here's $10 million. Whoa, how'd
Oh,
that get
no,
there?
I hope no one picks up this money."
Do you think Marquette fans are annoyed or are they liking his lack of portal use?
So they have a WhatsApp group that they don't talk about in public, and they're like, "God, what is this?
So secretly we're like, we this sucks. But then publicly they're like, this is culture.
Culture, Chaka, ah." Like
Okay.
behind closed doors, they gotta be like, I mean, couldn't we just got some better guys?
Yeah. Okay. All right. You got anything else on this before we predict?
How does he get away with this?
Likability, I think.
Okay,
And just
sure.
he's spit out good teams repeatedly.
Okay, all right. That's I'm not one, I'm just saying like just one
That's
guy.
that Sweet 16 a couple years ago was big.
What outside of that?
He's got yeah, one one Sweet 16 in his 5 years in Marquette. It's pretty good.
Yeah, good work, good work.
It's something. How long does and he didn't get one at Texas.
You know.
And he lost in the first weekend four straight times at VCU before he left for Texas.
Mm,
So we're going on, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One of 10 trips to the NCAA tournament. He's made a second weekend.
mm. And is that one the Final Four with VCU?
No, that was the Sweet 16 in 24 with Kolick.
He made a Final Four with VCU, right?
Yeah, I drew the line before then.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Good work.
2 of 11 if you want to include that one.
Okay, that's not good.
Yeah. How many has DeVries got?
I don't think he's made a second weekend.
Do you think that Darren DeVries at Indiana makes more than one second weekend in 11 years?
Yes.
Yeah, Darren DeVries hasn't won a tournament game, it appears.
Ouch.
0 for 3 losses in round one every time.
I think he would, in that same span, I think he would make more second weekends.
Okay. Oh, I guess he won the play-in game. They played Wichita State in the play-in a couple years ago.
Does that count?
You guys said it did when you were in the play-in.
Yeah, well, that's welcome to Agenda Hunting 101, brother.
Yeah, right, for sure. Okay, prediction time. Kenneth Pomeroy has Indiana by 2 in the United Center. What do you got?
I got Indiana winning this game. Get that out there first. I got Indiana winning this game. I'll call the score 80-70.
Okay.
I think Marquette might be bad.
I have that suspicion too. I think Indiana's the better team, but I'm going to take Marquette to win this game. I think we just get like a Shaka early season. You can't complain about this. Like I'm winning. Um, and I think,
In a neutral court victory over 34th ranked Indiana.
yeah, I think Indiana is going to be really volatile by 3-point shooting this year. And I know the Marquette defense is going to be good and feisty. And I think it could get to Tucker and Lamar a little bit, and maybe they just have a bad shooting night and shoot themselves out of it.
Okay, that's fair.